Hi guys, so this is video 8 of Duke and Prince, and today we're going to be taking the boys out. So in hand, little bits of hacking, just teaching them about life experiences outside of the yard. It's also nice to do some training out of the arena and just to see how they cope. So hope you enjoy. So I thought we'll start with Duke. Now Duke normally does a little bit of work in the arena, and then as a nice cool down, if the weather's good, for the first few times out, I've been taking for a little plod out. So this is just part of the farm. We've got some great, what I call elephant ear leaves on the right hand side there. So I'm just going to do a little bit of stop, start, back up. You can see he's already started to notice them. So I've put this in slow-mo so you can see what's going on, but it's a shame we didn't video the next bit. I didn't realise my poor friend trying to help me as much as possible. But what I did was I let him stop, have a look, and then I walked over to them and I crouched down. Once he realised what they were, he was absolutely fine. But just introducing them to these things, guys, is really important. Now here I've swapped sides and it's quite clear, he's not that comfortable with me on his right side with that right eye. So I'm just going to do a bit more. But this is really early days, so we're now much further ahead. And again, just giving them a chance to stop and process. So I've literally just nipped out the edge of the farm back on this last little tiny bit of road here. So guys, on the road, I would normally have a high vis, but I've literally just nipped out of the property to show Duke this sign. And I thought this was great. My partner spends a lot of time looking after the grass verges and, it's really nice. But unfortunately, some people aren't quite so appreciative and they're in a bit of a rush and drive over the grass, especially when it's wet and make a mess. So a bit of humour there to try and encourage people to be a bit more thoughtful, but great for ponies. Spooky signs. So here we're moving on to little Princey, and I put this video in. It's an old video when we were first starting to walk out, but I just wanted you to see his body language. Now there's a lot to take in on the farm. It's rattly, birds are flying in and out of the buildings, it gets quite windy up there, but he's a really good boy, but you can see he's a bit unsettled. But I'm just gonna stop, back up, walk on. I'm not going to ask too much, but just remind him of his P's and Q's. And look guys, what a difference. A few weeks later and he's marching out, he's happy. What I have done is the fields on the left, set back from the fencing, are ours, and I have been walking him up and down there so he gets used to the school bus coming past and traffic, people on bikes, but from a distance, and also where I'm safe behind the fencing. So I now know that we're ready to walk out on the road. I've also got a couple of friends that are very kindly videoing and spotting for traffic. But I'm really happy with this. He's marching out, he's not pulling. I've got a nice soft rope. He is in the rope halter, but I think he responds to that better at the moment. But I'm just going to put a couple of stop starts in and just encourage him to stop off the whistle. Just remember his P's and Q's. Again, guys, I'm not going to ask much. If he's marching forward and he's not pulling, then that's great. But sometimes it's just nice to set him back and just say, just listen. So guys, my horses are all barefoot, so I don't have to worry about the road drains, which is great because they're nasty and slippery. And you'll notice here that I'm doing everything off the right side, one obviously to help with the traffic. But Prince is actually a lot more settled than Duke. He's not so fussed about me being in his right eye. I have done a bit more leading with him both sides, especially when I bring both ponies in from the field. I'll swap which side I've got which pony. And here we're having a little look at 30-mile-an-hour sign. I'll show you a bit more about how to deal with those because they can be quite spooky. I've had some horses that have gone 4 foot in the air over them. I'm going to turn round here, little back up. Again, this is an entrance. There's a lot to look at, but I'm just going to say, and back up, listen to me, good boy, and walk on. And he's just having a little moment there to have a look around at my friends walking. So this is good. I'm really pleased. What I'm going to do now on the next little clip is show you about the lower and release. So I've been playing around again in the field and on the yard with encouraging him to lower his head. And because he's a bit more confident, he's obviously had a much smoother start than Duke has. He's quite happy to do this, which is lovely. So you can see here with my hand, I'm just going to ask for low of my voice. Encourage him to down. As soon as he does, I drop the contact and soften. So this is really nice. You can see him really sort of stretching and relaxing. I'm not going to ask a huge amount because, you know, there's still a lot to look at, but I'm going to just slowly scoop him back up again and then ask again. Now, I do a lot of lowering their heads, walking on and backing up. And again, here I'm just going to do another one so you can see from behind. And it's nice because it really stretches him over his back, just gets him relaxing. But the fact that he's happy to do this out on the road is brilliant. And the reason I've done this a few times is I wanted him to have a little bit further in the videos a really good look at the 30-mile-an-hour sign, because there's a double one and that can be quite spooky with the horses around here. On the left hand side again, we've got you'll see, he'll start looking in a second, some dogs running around and builder work being done, which is brilliant. So I'm going to let him stand, have a look. Got a few cars coming past, but he's definitely focused on the dogs, so just give him a chance to process. You notice that I'm really kind of quite grounded myself. I'm breathing. So I think the noise of the car and the dogs was just a bit too much. We had a little jump there. So here I'm going to just let him have a look at the 30-mile-an-hour sign again, not make a big deal of it. But we have got a car coming up. So this is great to be the first one passing him. So I'm going to halt him. My friend's just going to nip behind just so that we've got as much support as possible. And it also just encourages the car that something's different. I'm going to turn his head. I've got my hand on his side, but you can see he's not bothered, which is brilliant. Good pony. Now, I obviously didn't thank them, my friends did. I was just concentrating on him. So I've put this next clip in, guys, because how many of us look at things and think, oh God, there's something spooky coming up? And this actually causes a lot of problem. It's just a rock. But really thinking about whether you're riding or whether you're on the ground, looking ahead, thinking about your breathing, trying to keep a focus and not make things a big deal. I think a lot of the time we overthink it. So here we've got double 30-mile-an-hour signs. So you'll see I'm just going to lower his head, and then as soon as he lowers, I release. But these double ones seem to cause a problem. And I remember when I first hacked Cedric out, I couldn't get him anywhere near them. And I used to do a lot of backup with Cedric. That really focused his feet. And I remember reversing down the road over them. People look at me like I was mad, but it worked. So we're going to pop him back in his house. He can tell Billy Weir's all about it, and I'm sure Billy will be very interested. But yeah, I'm really pleased. I thought this was a really good start, and I shall just keep doing a few minutes and building on it. Really good pony. So the next little clip we've got here is Duke, and there's some hollyhocks. And obviously hollyhocks, guys, are poisonous to horses. But having a Cocker Spaniel bouncing around in the grass, waving around with some flowers is just, again, good training. But he's more interested in actually eating them, so I have to be quite thoughtful here. But it's quite a beautiful picture as well. But it's just practice. These videos, I'm afraid, are not going to be so good because I'm on my own. And it was a lovely Sunday morning. It was nice and early before the flies. So I thought I'd take Duke out around the farm. And I've obviously built up to this. So we went out for a lovely 40-minute hack. Now, look at his eyes. I put this slow-mo in. He's nice and relaxed. He's really enjoying this. I've got my little high vis on there that's attached to the saddle. Just, again, something different between his front legs. And the more you get to see through these videos, you'll notice that actually I've got different things on him all the time, because that's actually quite a big issue. Now, here there's a bit more to think about, because we've got the sheep, we've got the fencing, it's having a little rattle around. And there is a lot to look at. So I'm just going to let him stop and process. Here you can see much more chilled. So I've put this little clip in. It was a different day, and he's not quite as relaxed. It was a little bit earlier than the video I've just put in, but it's really nice to take him Breedon Hill. It's good for him to stand still. And also I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, in this video, it's quite straightforward. We don't have too much traffic, bikes, things like that, but I've taken my time with these ponies and really thought about what I do with them each time. So I will have another video where I introduce them to a lot more things, but this is just the beginning. And what's lovely here, I thought I'd finish this video on Duke being nice and relaxed in the stable. He's obviously got brain ache and he's having a good snooze, but it's just lovely to see this pony starting to relax. It's really, really exciting. Good boy. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's really nice to share the journey with these two boys, and it's a really nice focus for me as well. So please like and share, subscribe to my channel, click on the little bell, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks very much.